If a cultural issue came up, I would definitely address it. Sometimes a certain behavior is in relation to their culture.
Can you give me an example?
I had an African American male who appeared to be very aggressive in his relationship with his partner. I did consult around this because I was seeing him as a very rude individual. But as we progressed, what came up for me was that he was dealing with being an African American man in situations that lowered him. In reaction, he stood tall in his relationship. He was feeling minimized outside of the relationship and projecting all those feelings onto the relationship. When we were able to openly discuss the oppression he was experiencing and how he was bringing it to the relationship, it allowed me to see him differently and work with him differently, instead of just seeing him as aggressive.
How did you explore that and find out what he was experiencing?
I ask questions like, what do you notice when you hear her say this? I allow him to self-reflect. When he says I hear her say blank and blank, I then help him see how his filters are distorting his communication with her.
Culturally, what does it mean to expose self?
I think it is talking about your race, being comfortable saying, I think I'm being black taxed at this work environment. Having to do more than to prove myself.
You saw the look on my face and you explained it, but I didn't know what black taxed meant until you said. If you were my client, I would have asked.
Well, as an African American client coming in, I probably wouldn't have even said it to you in the first place. I wouldn't want you to think I was pulling a race card.
So, how are we going to have honest open discourse?
It is with that feeling of safety. Like, I think you and I have had enough conversations that I would feel comfortable talking with you about the black tax. But you have to gain that. That is the challenge. You have to create a safe place for that discussion to take place with an African American.
With that in mind and with all cultures in mind, how do I facilitate that environment of safety and trust?
I think it comes from being authentic. The genuine self is exposed even without words.
Oh yes. Our physiology gives us away every time, right?
And that is what I think the search is for when a person of color comes into the Euro-American therapist's office. That is where the work comes in for the therapist. To show that genuine, authentic self. Once that is exposed, it is safe. That requires something of you. That requires your own skill in being genuine in any situation. Because once you feel like a person is being fake, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk to you about anything. Because I think you have ulterior motives. And I don't feel safe. But, if you can give me your genuine self, you can ask me, is it okay? I don't want to offend you in any way. And that's genuine. You are genuinely asking, is it okay if we go here? It cannot be something you are reading from a script or that is not really who you are.
That is awesome.
It's the truth.